We can call her president.
You can trust me as a leader of this college.
President of Babson College, that is, Kerry Healey, makes history and sets her agenda for the nearly 100-year-old institution. Plus, what happened to the buyer's market?
It's really like hot potatoes. They just go. It's unbelievable.
It's a seller's market now, and homes are flying off the market. And the Brady kid with the squeaky voice now lending his voice to an important cause. Now on Greater Boston. Good evening. Most of you know Kerry Healey for her politics. She was active in Mitt Romney's presidential campaign, served as his lieutenant governor, and led the state's Republican Party. But now that she's been named president of Babson College, you may get to know her passion. She laid that out yesterday in her first address to faculty and students. Kerry Healey says the opportunity to lead Babson College was irresistible.
Now I'm excited to return to my academic roots only because I found a school, a business school, that's all about educating and empowering leaders of every kind.
The small business school has long been recognized by U.S. News for offering the top entrepreneurship program in the country. But with fewer than 4,000 students, Healey sees an opportunity to grow Babson beyond its Wellesley campus.
I look forward to advancing Babson's mission to educate entrepreneurial leaders who create economic and social value everywhere, and to providing even greater opportunities for its students to succeed and make a real difference in the global economy.
That vision has students excited.
Kerry Healey is going to be great for the college. She has a background in politics and can expand Babson's global reach. And I think our focus on social entrepreneurship around the world is really important, too.
Students are also excited that Healey is the first female president in the school's 100-year history.
So I'm really excited to finally have a woman leading Babson College. I think a difference in women's entrepreneurship. It's something that we've really started here, and I can't wait to see it grow with Kerry.
I'm sure President Healey feels the same way. All right, and with me now is the incoming president of Babson College, Kerry Healey. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, this stunned all of us. It was like, what? Where did this come from? How did it come about?
Well, you know, first of all, how about those students? Aren't they amazing?
Always saying these incredible things about you.
Well, not only that, but they're so articulate. They're
did their research
incredible. They're informed. You know, my first day, I just spent walking around talking to people. I talked to maybe 100 students yesterday.
Really?
I am blown away.
That was impressive.
If I had seen the students first, I would have been too intimidated to take the job. They're fantastic. So this started about 2 months ago. The search company reached out to me and said that they were interested in having me come in, and my first reaction was, really?
What?
You know, really? Is this something? And then the more I dove into it, the more I learned about Babson, I realized that I was going to be able to bring together all the disparate parts of my life, whether it was my work in Afghanistan or innovating in government or the charitable work that I do, bring it all together in one big bucket that's labeled entrepreneurship and take it to Babson.
For the last several years, you know, you've been used to, you come and go, you've been to Afghanistan, you travel the world, you go everywhere. Now, this is very, you know, I know you're going to travel again because you're going to do that with Babson, but suddenly you're back to kind of a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 11 job or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more than 9 to 11. It's going to be a 24-hour job. But what's so exciting about it is that Babson has, in most people's minds, been a small New England business college, and recently they've had real global reach. They've been, you know, testing this and that all over in Asia and in the Middle East and elsewhere, and especially South America. And they're looking for someone who can really take the college now to the next level and make it a truly global business college, but with deep New England roots.
So, I mean, what is the role of a president these days? I mean, do you spend a lot of time fundraising, recruiting? I mean, what are you doing?
I think
you don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. This is my second day. But what I do know is that they do want me to use my network of global contacts, which I've developed throughout my years in government and also you know, working with humanitarian issues around the world, and use those contacts to figure out where can Babson make a difference. I think the thing that strikes me about Babson that makes it so different is that they talk about the triple bottom line, and that's not a term that I had heard before I went to Babson. But you know, most business schools are looking about the bottom line. They're thinking about profit. At Babson, they say people and planet and profit. So that's the triple bottom line. And so they're interested in social entrepreneurship, they're interested in sustainability, and also profit.
You know, for some reason it struck me as odd that they were touting the fact that you were the first woman president. I'm thinking, are we still at that point where that is a big deal? I mean, I realize they haven't had one, so that makes it, you know, history making a sense, but it's like, it should, you know what I mean? It's like it's in the first sentence, and I'm thinking, really? Are we still there?
Yeah, I think that's probably because I'm actually the 13th president of the college, and I didn't want to be the lucky 13th president. So I thought it was better to say I was going to be the first woman president.
Good point. But you know what I mean? It's like, even in this day and age, that's still something that's headline making.
No, that's right. And if you think about it, when I was talking to my mom about this, when I broke the news to her, she made the point that she was the first woman in our family to ever go to college.
Really?
Yes. And that was in 1941, right after, at the end of the Great Depression and the beginning of World War II. And then 70 years later, I'm still the first woman president of Babson College. So progress has been made, but you're right, that's 70 years in between the first woman in my family to go to college and then me being able to lead a college.
So I don't know if you've thought about this yet, but do you pay attention to all those rankings? I was looking at all that U.S. News and World Report stuff today, and some of it, I mean, number one in entrepreneurship, I'm going to have to ask you what that means because I don't really understand, but then Bloomberg has Babson at number 34 in business programs, whatever that means. I mean, is this stuff that you work on? Do you have to fight to change those numbers?
Well, it's interesting. Some of the rankings are very technical and they count things and really it's more meaningful. And other ones are just sort of a beauty contest or a popularity contest and have less meaning. So while that may not be apparent, to people who are reading it, it's very apparent to the people who are at the college itself. And look, we're just going to be the best that we can be. And what I think is that people don't understand everything that's going on campus in Babson. It's a very unique environment. You talked about not really understanding what entrepreneurship is. What they do at Babson is it's an approach to problem solving. And they say you can be entrepreneurial in solving social problems. You can be entrepreneurial in solving business problems. It's more an openness and a willing to experiment and to try to learn quickly and build on those decisions. It's a very different method of approaching problem solving than you're going to find at other business schools, and a lot of students find it very helpful.
Is it strictly a business school? I mean, can't you get? I mean, it's undergraduate and graduate?
They're both business degrees, undergraduate business degree, and also MBAs. There are 4 different types of MBAs that you can get there. So yes, it's a business focus, but it has a very strong liberal arts faculty, and it's also associated with Olin School of Engineering, which I think you recently featured. Yeah. And even better, it's actually part of this 3-college block with Wellesley College, Olin, and Babson. So a student who's interested in the liberal arts would be just as happy coming to Babson as someone who was exclusively focused on business.
Like all other colleges and universities, it's expensive. It's $41,000 for tuition, then you add in room and board, another $10,000, and then the fees, and before you know it, you're paying $60,000. I mean, what can you really do about that?
I think there's a lot you can do, and I think that actually that's going to be one of my top priorities. I went to school on scholarships, and I worked during the time I was going through college. I wouldn't have been able to go to graduate school without a good scholarship. So I understand the burden that having to take out loans and to work while you're in school places on students. So my ideal would be to make Babson a place where people who want to be entrepreneurs can go and not have that burden. So I'm going to be raising money around that from every direction I can find.
And what is it well endowed? I don't even know.
It has about $250 million right now in endowment, and I have a hunch that there'll be another capital campaign in our future leading up to our centenary.
So, I mean, a lot of these schools and universities around Boston, MIT and Harvard, they're doing these combined, ed courses or whatever it's called,
edX, yep.
And a lot of this,
MOOCs.
And all the internet. I mean, have you already started moving to that direction?
I think Babson was way out in front on some of this. They've been doing blended learning programs, MBAs, where you do part of it distance learning and then part of it intensively on campus for a decade. But I think what you're not going going to see at Babson is this rush to, give all of their intellectual property away. They're very philanthropic. They use their entrepreneurial training to help people both overseas. We have a huge program in Africa teaching young people to be entrepreneurs, and we're working with Goldman Sachs' 10,000 small business program here in the U.S. to get those entrepreneurial skills out to people who could really use them here in the U.S. But by and large, Babson is a business college, and they have something really unique to sell, and I think they're going to keep that right there on the Babson campus.
Right. Not that academia isn't political, because we all know it is, but are you going to miss the rough and tumble of everyday politics? You have to give up your committee woman?
Yep, I do. And, I do that with a very calm heart, because I feel like our party is at a moment of reflection. Yes. And they are, but they're headed in the right, I think they're headed in the right direction, honestly. And I think the Reince Priebus is doing a great job leading that very sincere and deep effort at reflection and trying to reorient ourselves and move forward.
You can always get back in. All right. Kerry Healey, great to have you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.